Welcome, survivors, burnout community, and those just interested. It's Kelly Bubolz, trainer, author, speaker, and your burnout prevention mentor. Burnout is not taboo. It's our reality in this chaotic, fast-paced world. But we're not going to let it drive the narrative to our stories. We're going to do something about it. So let's dig in. I'm excited for today's episode because we're going to be talking about one of the 4 direction categories in workforce energy management. Now, that can seem defeating. That can already seem like unattainable, but we've kind of been distracted. We've kind of moved away from basic human needs and team involvement that we've overcomplicated things. Now, how I got here wasn't overnight. How I got to the workplace energy management framework was through burnout, through basic human needs, basic trust categories. Less is more, as we've been talking about, and focus. And so through this process and working with different teams on burnout prevention, I saw 4 common trends that were coming out. And through this, I was able to create a framework to give teams a sense of direction, to give leaders a framework in which they can work with their teams to optimize performance, to optimize productivity while preventing burnout. Now, we're going to go through some of these categories in upcoming episodes. Make sure that you follow and subscribe. But I want to talk about the one that always is an aha moment with clients. And it seems like low-hanging fruit. It seems simple, but it's more complex than you think. And it's because there's different variables in play at any point in time. And that's why we have to spend a little bit of time in this section to clean it up. Now, if you've been listening, you already saw the episode on effective meetings, death by meeting. If you haven't, go check out that episode after we're done here. It's another effective tool in workflow optimization. But within this category, I want to give you a little sense of direction. We're not going to cover the whole category because we go through this with clients over an hour period of time and then follow-up sessions thereafter. I just want to give you a little taste of this so you can see it's within your reach. You can see it is obtainable. Now, workflow optimization is a key factor in getting energy back in your teams and in your day. Do you come to work just feeling drained before you even walk in? I used to get Sunday scaries, as they say on social media now, but it's where on Sunday afternoon, you already start to have that dread of the week to come, the emails waiting in your inbox, the Monday morning line outside of your office door. I used to have that. And then you went through the week in that zombie mode and you wait for Friday. You get a full day Saturday to recover or live your hectic parental life following your kids around, and then Sunday scaries again. Out of 7 days, you only get 1 day to live. And it's because we're not following the natural flow and we're almost living 2 different lives. So with energy management is incorporating that we do have to work and we do have a team. So stop fighting it and embrace that reality. Within workflow optimization is a lot of time management. Where are we spending our efforts and resources? Let's go through 3 areas that are getting the aha moments. There's more to this category, but let's just touch on 3 of them. In workflow optimization, energy allocation is key. And what I'm talking about is skills matching, workload balance. Where is all this energy being allocated? I really saw this came out as a behavioral analyst in DISC. When one person is feeling drained and I look at their DISC profile, I look at the job they're performing and it's a complete mismatch. Skills matching is important so that you're matching people to where they thrive. For example, if I'm a people social person, if I enjoy change, if I like to be innovative and creative, accounting, finance, probably not my department. It doesn't mean those people can't be in finance and accounting, but doing repetitive tasks, being consistent, being very detail oriented, not my jam. Do you see where the mismatch can come from? Do you see where the energy drainers automatically happen before you even begin? And why this happens is usually people go into career paths that their parents did, career paths that naturally just came easy to them. But as they became adult, as they grew in their career, it started to separate and misalign with what they really enjoy. In some cases, too, people outgrow their career path. That's why you see 50-year-olds switching careers. That's why you see people going back to college later in life. And I love that because they're following the flow of this energy. So skills matching is going to be important. I also see the mismatch come out when emerging leaders step into a position. Most likely companies promote their high performers or the people that are really good at their skills, but maybe don't have those people skills, or people naturally follow these individuals, and these individuals that are becoming leaders aren't given the correct tools for performance management, for healthy conflict conversations, for those conversations that aren't so fun to have. Because yes, it's great when people naturally want to follow, but when things get hard, when dysfunction creeps into your team and you need that leader to step up, you need tools in your toolbox as a leader. And some individuals aren't prepared enough to take on that leadership position. So again, a skills mismatch. It doesn't mean that they can't be good at it, but right now the skills are not there. The other factor in energy allocation, aside from skills mismatching, and we want to get back to the matching, is the workload balance. This is a common factor with the labor shortage going on, high turnover, and that's because we're doing things in very old ways. With all the technology advancements and software automation, availability of resources through different channels that we didn't have years ago, it should almost be easier to do some of the work, but we're not reallocating that energy. We're doing things the same way we did 3 years ago, 5 years ago. So what I do with groups when we go through this workflow optimization in the energy allocation section is we establish kind of a flow of one thing to the next. So say we have a customer, they order something. What is the process? What's the process through software? What's the process through people? What's the process through product? All the way to the point where the customer receives such product and any follow-up. And when you do that flow of one thing to the next, you will see the energy allocation that goes into each step. You will see how much resource allocation goes into the people side. And it will shock you because of the technology available, because of the software available. And now, certainly when I'm talking about that, it isn't an upfront investment when companies update software, integrate different ERP systems, operational systems. But you have to understand that there's third-party companies that do this with ease. There are third-party companies that can help businesses scale faster by offloading some of that work from their people. Again, it's allocation. So you can hire 5 more people, or you can hire a company that can integrate your systems. Do you see where that energy allocation can get lost or can thrive? So a good practice in this workflow optimization is, how is this flow from one thing to the next through the different department touches, through the different people? And how is that energy flowing? The next topic I want to talk about in workflow optimization category is priorities. Now, if you would ask the top level to the bottom level, what is priorities for today, this week, this month, this year? You will get different answers. What are key processes and pass-offs? You will get different answers. What is urgent versus important? You will get different answers. So a lot of workflow optimization came out during that burnout prevention conversation with just conversations over conversations, confusion, lack of clarity, poor communication. And when you back up and take away all that noise, it's really just priorities. Are priorities clear? Are they consistent? Is the messaging the same across all departments and people? And then does everyone have the same definition of urgency versus importance? I came from manufacturing, and let me tell you, manufacturing, that industry attracts your firefighters. The people that just want to go full board, all in at any point in time. They can adapt easily. They're problem solvers. They can critically think. It all sounds amazing, except the consistent work isn't being done when you're constantly firefighting. Everything is urgent, so nothing's important. Departments start battling each other instead of battling the problem. Backing up again and really establishing across the company, across all departments, what are priorities and key processes? What are going to be the pass-offs in a process? And what is urgent versus important will be key to optimize that productivity. Now, the last one I want to talk about is integration. And this comes in definitely different facets. There's different ways and variables to approach integration when you have a more remote workforce versus an in-person workforce, when you have different shifts, when you're more in-person customer-centric versus internet customer-centric, which is like internet orders and processing. The integration topic has different factors we've already talked about. Automation of tasks. What is our workflow mapping? How can we make things more efficient? Why is it passing through 3 people? Is there other quality checks we can do there? Is there things that can be automatically sent through our software integrations? Also look at integration as how tasks are being completed. And here's what I mean by that. There's 2 ways of tasks. One is doing the task. You look at something, you have to process it. You look at something, you have to respond to it. Order entry. You just have to do the task. It's almost on autopilot after you get that training, after you get your natural flow and skill set. You can do this task with ease. It might take time. It might be exhausting, but it's a task. You see it, you do it. The other side of this task section is headspace. This is the thinking. Now, when you talk about energy, you think of a person's capacity through the day. That headspace think area is much smaller than the do. Just do the task. The headspace think area takes so much more energy, and the brain will fight it at any point in time. If you are working on a hard task and you want to just check your phone and scroll, you want to just check your work email, even though your email's already up on your desktop, these are things that your brain is telling you, I don't want to think right now. I don't have energy to do this. Kick it out. That's headspace. That's the think area. So those aren't just do the task. These are the critical think, problem solving, brainstorming. It's that conflict area that as humans we naturally fight. So when you look at the integration of tasks, don't just look at the task, also look at, are they headspace think areas of the task, or are they just do tasks? Because this will also help you start separating out your talent in the team. There are people that are further along in their career and skill sets that naturally think faster. It doesn't take as much energy for them. And then there's people that just do, and they're really good at it, and they need to gain that experience. Again, this will help you with that talent management side. There's also tasks that, again, you can automate. Software can do it. There's intern and great student programs that you can put that task on. When you're looking at that workflow mapping and you're seeing all the tasks, also remember that there's 2 areas of tasks: headspace, think area, and the doing task area. Now, under integration is also deadlines and timelines. We certainly establish these in certain projects. You'll have monthly reporting and operational things that come up with a nice flow. But then there's everything else. What is going to be the progression of when emails need to be responded to? When is going to be the progression of certain projects and milestones that had to be hit? These deadlines and timelines, again, need to be integrated throughout your week. We just keep adding more. Hey, we have this problem that continues to come up at the end of the month. We need to make space in our week, in our timeline, for that to occur. If it's already predictable, why are we not making space for that? This is part of the continuous improvement. If you don't want to focus on it, it won't be fixed. If you don't want to make time for it, it's not important. And this is the little integration parts of that topic that we get into with teams to start working through. Where are we going to optimize? Let's focus there first. Workflow optimization is selecting as a team where you want your energy allocated, what's going to be the priority, and how are we going to integrate it into our work week so that we can optimize the skill sets in our team, provide value back to the company, and not burn ourselves out.
I know you're not lazy. Most people in burnout are high performers, those serving others before themselves. Don't discount this step today, the action in which you focused on your self-growth. Piecing together the puzzle is half the journey. Rediscovering yourself, energy, and establishing new habits is the other. Do not underestimate the untapped inner strength inside you. Explore more resources on my website to move from zombie mode back to liveliness. See you soon.